Yeah. Okay. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
sir.
Good morning, sir.
You can hear
Good
me.
morning, sir.
Right. Okay. Right now, I hope that you have got the material. Has everybody got the material and the booklet that we sent?
Yes, sir.
Have you got hard copies of Out, Out, and Old Man and the Bridge?
Yes, sir.
Right. I hope
No,
that.
sir.
Huh?
Batch
we have-
12 is batch 12 didn't get, sir.
You didn't get the booklet?
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir, we didn't get for batch 12.
How many are there in the batch 12?
We can raise some hands.
No, we can now. You don't know. You have never got. You have never met in your case. Oh, you do not know how many are there in your batch. Three have raised their hands. Which now?
This means, sir, in our WhatsApp group, there are 120 participants in batch 12.
Huh?
120 participants. I don't know whether they have all joined to the class or not, sir.
Which means that all 120 or whatever, they haven't got received the booklet.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Right now.
Excuse me, sir. It was in the Google Classroom yesterday around 10:15. They posted it.
Yeah,
got
that-
the book, sir. They uploaded it in the Google Classroom.
Yeah, that is what. Now, Takshila, you may not have referred to that one. No, in the Google Classroom, it is available for everyone. Right?
Yes, sir. Just now I'm checking, sir. Okay.
Right. So that's not not a mistake on our part, right? However, no. Yes. Then now you can see me, no? Can you?
Yes, sir. We can see.
Right. Okay.
Yes,
Then
sir.
if you don't have the book, right? So what you could do is now, if you can send someone or get a hard copy, that would be fine. Otherwise, you have to have a copy of at least, right? That is not going to be materialized. You have to have a soft copy, but all these quotations and things that you underline, you have to write in your notebook, right? If you don't have a copy, right? But for the time being, in the break also, you can get at least the printout of Old Man at the Bridge that we might do. We most probably would do after the break, right? Then you getting a hard copy of this one and bind it and have a proper kind of what I'm this front page or hard front page and hard back page, and bind it and keep it solid, right? That this is going to be one of your investments, one of your most unforgettable kind of book that you would have one day, right? So that is, so you have to have it in a solid form. Then this book, right, it is not just papers being attached with one pin or something. It shouldn't be the case, right? It should be properly done, right? You might have downloaded it and you might have one or two papers with your hand, but within this course of time, right? I don't know whether next week I would be able to teach you, but the having this book is important, right? In a solid form. The week after next, maybe we do not know, right? Then I gave you the introduction of literary theories, right? I think literary theories and literary criticism, there's a slight difference between literary theory, right? Theory is kind of facts, right? Criticism is a practical device, right? Now, theory doesn't change, right? The criticism changes all the time, right? Theory is objective, criticism is extremely subjective, right? Now, Takshila, what do you mean by subjective? Takshila, were you there last week?
No, sir, I wasn't in the class, but I studied the recording, sir.
Hmm. Then that is something that I highlighted last week. What do you mean by subjective?
Different from person to person.
Different from person to person, right? Okay, I told you literature is subjective, mathematics, science are not subjective, right? They are objective. Then here also theory could be objective, criticism is subjective, right? Not that one, not in your right. Theory is a fact, right? Theory sometimes we can't argue, right? But having said that, even within the theory, there can be subjectivity, right? There can be subjectivity within the theory because it's literature, for God's sake. And literature, if you no way that you could make it objective, right? If literature being objective, that there's no beauty of literature, right? I made it very clear last week, right? So the beauty of literature is that taste is different from person to person. Your attitudes are different from person to person. Your likes and dislikes are different from person to person, right? Then the way you look at something is different, right? So, for example, I told you that there are so many kinds of films, right? One of the major art forms that we have today, right? So there are different kinds of films. There are action films, there are karate films, there are adult films, there are comedy films, that is humor, right? Humorous films. Then there are horror films, there are detective films, right? Okay, there are scientific fiction, right? So likewise, there are scientific the films based on scientific fiction, right? There are so many kinds of, and romantic films, right? There are so many kinds of films, right? You may like one category most. There's another. Some you may reject some. Now I have seen some of the most of people I have met, right? So they reject this action films, right? Some do not like karate films, that is fighting, right? But we do like Bruce Lee's films and all. Most of you may like as well, but there are people who are rejecting it. And some people see only detective films, right? Some X-Files series, right? And Prison Break series, that's different, right? Okay. Then some people like romantic films, love stories. They are very, very, I mean, so much into it, so much being infatuated by that love stories, right? Then that's it. So those are the viewers that like Hindi films most, right? But as far as Hindi films are concerned, not so many categories. I was referring to Hollywood films, right? Okay, then that is subjectivity. Then I just gave a very brief introduction to each kind of criticism. Now in your booklet, the first page is first page you find that one, no? Right? Subject description, brief introduction on the theory, and depicting the theory through literary works. Have you got it? The booklet we sent, the front page, second page I made. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. You find Marxist criticism, that is this something I prepared, right? Okay, something I prepared. I told you I wanted to take now. Is reader response theory first or Marxist theory first in your?
Reader response theory first.
What is the second one?
New criticism.
New criticism. Third one?
Feminist criticism.
Fourth one, psychoanalytic criticism, no?
Marxist.
Fourth one. Right. Then
analytical criticism.
Psychoanalytic theory. Then
Post-colonial criticism.
Then
yes.
Finally, new historicism.
New historicism, yes.
Right. Okay. So that is the way I plan to teach you. Right. That is the way I plan to teach you. That is, I'll be teaching you reader response theory first. What is the second one? New criticism, because both are very similar, like, right? So we want, right? There's a slight difference between new criticism and reader response theory, right? Now, we started reader response theory, did we? Didn't I start reader response theory on that day?
Sir. No, sir. You just gave a brief introduction to the lesson.
It was brief introduction last week.
we wrote 1 or 2 sentences, did we? Did we write?
No, sir.
No, sir.
We
No.
just talked about the introduction to literacy criticism.
Only literary criticism, no?
Yeah.
Can you tell me the last thing we wrote under literary
So
criticism?
you gave us an example about it is like a water,
Ah,
which is poured.
yes, Aviva, it's like water then. What is like water?
which is being poured into different bottles of different
Right.
shapes.
A literary theory, literary work could be regarded as water, right? That can be poured into different bottles, right? One literary piece, we look at it in different points of view, right? In other words, let's say there's a picture, right? There's a picture of, let's say, what? Picture of a small baby, small girl, right? It looks to be beautiful. Then we look at it in plain glass, like eyewear, right? Then we look at it in red sunglasses, blue sunglasses, yellow sunglasses, maroon sunglasses, right? Same thing is look at in different colors. So same thing, if it is the water, we point to different bottles which are in different shapes and different colors, right? Okay. Then comparatively, I gave you that example, no, didn't I?
Yes, sir.
Right? How Gamperle is looked at in reader response theory. How Gamperle is looked at in new criticism, right? How Gamperle is looked at in Marxist theory, right? How it is looked at in post-colonial theory and feminism theory, right? Feminist theory, not feminism theory, feminist theory, right? So in different ways, then when you look at it in feminist theory, we pay attention to Matarahamine, Nanda, Anula, Katerina, Liza, how much these female characters are victimized in this predominantly male-dominant society, right? Then as far as Marxist theory is applied, we pay attention to working class characters like Sada, characters like Karolis, right? How they are victimized in the hands of upper middle class people, right? And how this class changes, right? Now, the upper middle class, Aisharwate Mohandiram's family, how they become almost lower middle class towards the end of the novel, right? So that is Marxism, right? So now Gamperle is looked at Marxism. Hashiba, did you at least watch the film?
No, I couldn't, sir.
You have to.
I'm
Right.
going. I'll be doing it, sir.
Yeah, that is Gamperle, right? So then you will understand this better, right? Then I told you to analyze Gamperle new historicism, right? How we analyze the socio-political and geographical background of the novel, right? Especially socio-political background. It matters so much when analyzing Gamperle, right? Then new criticism, right? And reader response theory without taking any background or any other socio-political context. We just analyze in the way we feel it, right? We create a psychological kind of attachment with the work and we analyze, right? We don't pay attention to the character's background or the writer's background or socio-political background that the novel is set. We just do it in the way we feel it, right? How you feel about the romance in Gamperle, how we feel about these characters, right? How we feel about this incidents that are taking place, right? How effective that one. We are just commenting on that part, right? Okay. So then a Marxist, feminist, and psychoanalytic theory, how the psyche of these characters are working, right? For example, we might pay attention to psychological suffering now. Kaisarwate Mohandiram dies, right? Then Matarahamine becomes the breadwinner of the family. So then economic issues, that is, economic problems are popping up, right? Unexpectedly, right? So by the time Kaisarwate Mohandiram dies, most of the property they had are gone, right? So then she did not have any income, only that the garden house is located is was left, right? Then how she, what sort of a psychological suffering she underwent to run the family. Even Anula, right? Then
Anula,
what sort of,
yeah.
Hello?
Anula even, as you told. Yeah, Anula even.
Yeah, Anula. And then with regard to this romantic issues, and she was given in marriage, and marriage fails in the sense that they had a very good relationship between Jinadas and Nanda, but still they could not continue marriage because of this economic problems coming up. And even Anula is criticizing and even for the food like thing, they put an argument. Then what kind of psychological suffering they undergo? Even Jinadas, right? Okay, because he's a married man and he has to be at home without doing anything. So what sort of kind of marginalization and all that, how he underwent that, when how his psyche work, right? How his psyche works. Psychoanalytic theory. So that's why we have taken Evelyn for example, because Evelyn is a psychological analysis of a young girl who is facing a crisis, whether to go with the boyfriend or not, whether to elope with the boyfriend or not. Throughout the show story, she's analyzing whether to go or not to go. Right? It's a psychological struggle. Right? Then there is psychoanalytic theory. Then all right, post-colonial, I discuss everything. Right? So is there any questions related to what I did last week or the thing that I explained today? Right? Are there so many absentees right? But having the recording is not the same as participating in the class, right? And if you can meet physically, this would be much effective, right? Okay, but there are people who are joining from abroad also. There was a girl joined from Kuwait, Dubai. Are you there?
Yes,
Hello?
sir. Good morning, sir. I'm from
Good
Kuwait.
Kuwait, ne? Right.
Yes, sir.
And then, yes, there's another one, no? Who's
Good morning, sir.
Fatima? You are from?
Yeah. Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. So how do you feel psychoanalytic theory in Qatar? Fatima? Same, no? Like in Sri Lanka.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Then right. So then we wrote finally criticism may vary from literary theory. Critics are different from theoreticians. Is that what we wrote last?
We ended at new criticism. I think the final was their cultural background, wasn't it? Or was it a note that I wrote?
Yeah,
New
yeah.
criticism, new historic-
He knew historicism.
Yeah, you analyze the socio-political background of that type, kind of facilities.
Okay. We wrote this, no? Literary criticism is the comparison, analysis, interpretation, evaluation of works and literary.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
We
I
wrote,
wrote that
sir.
the last point is applying literacy is a kind of objectifying literacy works.
Right, literary works, right? Literary works, right? Kind of
Yes.
objectifying, right? Yes. But in the theories revealed by, oh yeah, right. So I want to just find whether everything is explained in the background. Attempt to understand literature. So, did you write? Okay, write this down also. Literary criticism. I told you just now. Literary criticism is subjective. Literary theory is objective. Literary criticism vary from literary theory. Literary criticism vary from literary theory. Write that down. Mainly because.
So can you repeat that?
Sir,
Literary-
that point we have written, right? Literary
we wrote
theory.
it. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. it.
Then somebody said that it was not written.
Vary from literary theory mainly because critics are different from theoreticians.
Yes,
Yes.
and at this and theories are objective, and theories are objective, and criticism in most of the times, subjective, right? Subjective, right? Okay, so that was the background. I was now in this background I have talked about different very brief introduction to different theories, right? So I have given early, right, that is reader response, psychoanalytic, Marxism, feminism. Okay, now I have just given a very brief introduction to all those, no? Taking Gamperli as an example, we have written that. Ashini?
Yes, up to
Right.
new criticism, we wrote new historism. We wrote
Yeah, that is the last one,
yes.
right?
Yes.
That's the last one, right? Okay, now we take one by one separate. Okay, one by one separate. Okay, write the title, reader response criticism, right? Reader response criticism, right? So I give you the introduction and we get to know what it is. Then we take the literary work and analyze that literary work in reader response theory, right? So that is what partly it is theoretical, partly it is practical. In the other sense, partly very creative. You could be very creative in this one. Your response coming out, right? Like the title suggests, reader response, right? Reader response. You have liberty to analyze in the way you like, right? So to do that, you need to know about techniques, you need to know about themes and all, right? Now, Fatima, have you tried to get that book that I told you that now all the techniques will be included, so you should be
Yes,
able to.
I went to the Sarasavi. They said they're out of stock and they said they'll get it to me within a week or two.
Which
So I
Sarasavi?
got it from Sarasavi.
The book
You got it?
which you wrote.
Yeah.
Literacy.
In Dehiwala,
yeah.
it's available in Dehiwala.
Yeah, they had it. Yes, from there only they said they're gonna get it from me.
I think
Now,
I
did you-
got the last
okay,
copy, I guess.
Those who bought it, did you read at least 1 or 2 pages there?
Yes, I just went through.
How do you feel about it?
It's good, so all the the points there.
Yeah.
And also I read about out.
Yes, we'll see. Right. Okay. Write this down. This approach focuses on the reader and his role and his role in the analysis of a literary work, and his role, his or her, his given feminism, right? His role or her role in the analysis of a literary work, right? It is, as the title suggests, as the title suggests, as the title suggests, 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 reader's response to the literary text, right? That one is reading, literary text that one is reading, right? It is meant to be that The reader is provided freedom. The reader is provided freedom to develop. Reader is provided freedom to develop his stroke her own perceptions, right? His her own perception, right? The reader is provided freedom to develop his her own perceptions, interpretations, and criticism on a literary work, and criticism on a literary work, right? Okay. Now there are, last week there were 140, now only 107 is connected today. I don't know, right? Maybe that, right? The lecture is not effective, or, right? Chamika, Ruanti, can I hear you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Chamika, now, is that clear, right? So
Yes.
reader is given freedom to develop his own perception, interpretations, and criticism on literary work. So you don't need to be dependent on anything, right? You have all the freedom. Only thing is that you should be able to analyze. You should know the techniques. You should know the. You should be able to guess the themes. You should be able to talk about structure and whatever. If you have to have a kind of a background to do it, right? No, it is not. Criticism is not just saying it is good. Criticism is not saying it is bad. Why Ashini Pereira? Why it is not saying just good and bad? What you got to do then? It is not saying that, okay, this poem is good, this poem is bad. It's not that. Then what it is? If you say a literary, let's say poem, this poem is good, then you should be able to explain why you say it good, right? Why you regard it as good. Because of these things, I say it good, right? And because of these things, I feel that it is not up to the point. It is not good enough, right? Now we can't write general statements. This is okay. You have to say why you call it okay, right? Okay. Now that should be, you should be able to, I told you in literature, you can't explain everything, right? There are certain things that you can't explain. As I told you, when you like purple as your favorite color, you can't explain why you like purple, right? But still, in this literary works, you should be now, because of this word choice, like diction, I like, right? These are the words that he has taken in this poem. So I like these words, these words are effective, right? The structure, first stanza has 4 lines, the second stanza has 6 lines. Then that structure, you can comment. And why do you think first stanza has taken only 4 lines, and why in the second one 6 lines? Maybe that first 4 lines are set in the scene, right? In the next 6 lines, he's coming into the story starts. Then last 2 lines, he gives the judgment, right? He or she, right? Likewise, you should be able to guess, right? And he has used a symbol here. He has used a metaphor here, right? He has used irony. That irony is situational irony, or it is verbal irony, or it is dramatic irony. Dramatic irony cannot be there in poem, right? So it is what kind of irony also you could say, right? It is olfactory imagery. So that is the smell, right? So if that now, what generates now? I'll show you now when we do that Atteria by Anne Ransinger. It's a very beautiful poem, and you feel all these visual imagery, then auditory imagery, olfactory imagery, tactile imagery, all are there in that poem. Tactile imagery means touch, right? So it describes a girl touches the boy's hand, how he feels, how she feels, and he feels, right? So then with that one, we feel that we get the same experience because we have that experience at one time more, right? So most probably, right?
Emotionally, we are involved, sir. Emotionally, we are involved.
Involved in that one. That's emotionally involved, and your involvement should be able to explain in freedom response theory. Your emotional involvement with this text, right? Why you are emotionally, at what point, in what way you are emotionally involved, right? You can't just say, I'm emotionally involved with this poem. You should be able to explain why. Why you involved, why you got involved, right? Why you don't get involved in some of the other works? What made you to involve in this particular work, right? Okay, we will have, right? Then someone later will continue. It is totally against the applied literary theories, the rejected literary theories, reader response theory, right? It is totally against the applying different literary theories, right? Says analyze in the way you feel. Theory දාන්න එපා. Techniques a technique එකන වාට හැංගෙනදී, right? Don't analyze socio-political background. Don't analyze the background of the characters, right? Talk about the text itself. Text එක විතරක් කරන් කතා කරන්න, right? මේක නිකන් close to practical criticism. Practical criticism you go beyond, right? So you don't need to talk about the background of the writer, background of the time it was written, right? You may be able to guess, make a but you are not talking about this the situation in mid 20th century or situation in Victorian time. Even if you understand that this is a Victorian poem, you should not comment about the era, right? You look at the text, what title may say, right? What first 4 lines may say, right? Okay, that is reader response, applying theories. And when we analyze, we can analyze feminist theory and we can find out this and that. We don't write, right? We reject theories, we reject background here, right? It is totally yes, sorry, and reader different theories and reader's role, right? Reader's role being ignored. Different theories where reader's role being ignored, right? Different theories where reader's role being ignored, right? Then this came to be in 1960s, right? This the background to reader response theory, right? This became popular actually, right? This came to be in 1960s and 1970s, mainly in US and German, mainly in United States and German, right? This came to be in 1960 and 17, mainly in United States and German. Did you write that? Right? Ashra?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
In case if the now as Hashiba said, it was available only, the book was available only in Dehiwal. In case they have run out of it, if I call you, is there a possibility that I can get the copy, sir?
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Thank you, sir.
Now that is where do you come from?
I'm from Mahabagya.
Mahabagya, right? Wattal there's Sarasavi, no?
Yes, I went over there. They only said they'll get it down from the Hivala. As Hashiba said, if many purchase from there, they will also go out of stock. So that's why I just
then they will give me a call and I have copies and I will hand over the office in they have the stores in Maharagama, then they will distribute. Don't worry.
Okay.
That may take a little bit of time, right? But you will.
There are a lot of books in Nugegoda branch, sir.
Yes, Nugegoda branch. It is available.
There are a lot.
Yeah, right. Then you would be able to get it. Don't worry, right? So if you are close to Malabe, you can get it at Sinek University also, right? At a reduced price. And extrographic I think they post it also, right? Exprographic Battaramulla, Tarawatugoda. No, sorry, Battaramulla, and there's another big branch in Colombo that is at Malvatta Road.
Yes, PETA. I got few books from there.
Yeah. So we will send immediately, they will get it, right? Okay. So don't worry, you will be able to get better. Remember now, getting the book does not mean that you know everything, right? So you can refer to the then, but you have to do it in a practical way, right? What you have to do is that you have to get a poem that now I will send you your assignment today, right? So in the assignment, I will explain that now. You have to take a text and analyze in at least four theories, right? Now, as I did it in Gamperli, then Gamperli analyze karanna baya kaatawa, right? Because I did it, right? I took Gamperli and I analyzed Gamperli basically. Now, that is basic analysis. Gamperli in psychoanalytic theory, Gamperli in Marxist theory, Gamperli in post-colonial theory, Gamperli in reader response theory, right? So likewise, get a text, right, of your own choice, right? You can't take out our text. You can't take that are in the collection, that the booklet that you have provided. You can take any other thing you like. You can take I Wonder Lonely as a Cloud. We haven't included, right? Then I Wonder Lonely as a Cloud. You analyze in reader response theory. Then you analyze in psychoanalytic theory. You analyze in post-colonial theory, right? You analyze in new historicism. New historicism is political background, right? Fatima, now Ashra, or call them maybe iPhone. Can I talk to your iPhone? Because last namak ne. Huh? එදා හිටියා මේ මොකද්ද යාගේ නම මේ Galaxy. එදා හිටියා Galaxy, අද ඉන්නවා iPhone. Right? Can I hear you? Huh? Okay. Balachandran. Yes, Chushan. Oh, sorry. I mispronounced you. Balachandran, can I hear you? Balachandran? Huh? Not there. Absent, no? Somebody says, sorry, sir, my microphone is not working. Right? You have to have working microphone. Anupama? Anupama Premaratna, can I hear you? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Where do you come from?
From Kegol, sir.
What are you? Are you teaching? Oh, Anupama, what do you do? Are you still studying or working or what do you
Sir,
do?
I'm waiting for my appointment, sir.
Teaching
I'm
appointment.
NCOE. Yes, sir.
NCO means National College of Education.
Yes, sir.
Why
Peradeniya National College of Education.
Peradeniya National College of Education. Why everybody says NCO and you can't say not ready to say College of Education? That is what we have heard of, right? Then Anupama, now you have learned literature before, no?
Yes, sir.
You have learned All Men at the Bridge also. Have you? I know that on that syllabus at one time, All Men at the Bridge was there. Anupama, did you have All Men at the Bridge as a text?
No, sir.
What did you learn? Now tell me something that you learned that is a poem, now short story or novel or something that you learned for literature in the colleges of education.
Test of the D'Urbervilles we did. Othello, The Prince and the Pauper.
Othello you did?
Yes, sir.
If I ask a question from Othello, you could be able to answer. Did you? Right. Okay. However, yes, what I'm saying is, right, so what I said there is that this is totally depending on reader's response. right? Now, as far as Othello is concerned, also you don't get the socio-political background, why Othello was written and all, colorism and all. We take now the text as it is, right? The text as it is means we look at the characters in the way they behave in the drama only, right? We are not very much concerned of their background, right? Okay, we analyze their love, irrespective of the fact that they are different in colors, right? So, is Othello suffering from Othello syndrome, right? Othello syndrome can article, go and read it, right? What do you mean by Othello syndrome? And the article is Othello suffering from Othello syndrome, right? Okay, then that's those things now, right? So that is reader's response, okay, right? The readers continue. The readers do not passively understand. The readers do not passively understand the meaning presented to them. The meaning presented to them. Passively don't understand meaning presented to them. But it is a comprehensive, and careful reading of the text. Comprehensive and careful reading of the text. Underline that part, right? Comprehensive and careful reading of the text. That is what you got to do in reader response theory, right? You read it carefully, maybe several times, right? And very comprehensively you read it. Then what you feel, you comment, right? You bring in what you feel. This is like an appreciation, right? An appreciation of a poem, right? You can write whatever you feel, but having, as I told you, it should be proven in the text. You can't just write things out of the blues and the things that you like or something, right? Okay, then
can you repeat the last part? Comprehensive and
what did I say? Comprehensive reading of the text. Comprehensive and careful reading of the text. Okay.
Okay, so thank you.
Right. Then continue. It is subjective. It is subjective. And different readers may read the same text, right? Different readers may read the same text differently. This is important. You've got to understand this. Different readers may read the text differently, right? Now, if I read Itipahan, something I feel that you may not feel the same thing. Itipahan by Sumitra Rao Badda, right? Okay. So when 10 people are reading it, we have 10 appreciations, 10 perspectives, 10 points of view, right? So that is the beauty of it, right? Different readers may read the text differently, right? And the same reader, this is interesting case, the same reader may read the text right? And the same reader may read the text differently at different times. Same reader may read the text differently at different times, which means that, right? Now, if you read a novel now, you may feel something, but if you read the same novel after 10 years of time, with your life experience and with your attitudes changing, with your scope of knowledge being broadened, widened, right? With your, and we having so much of interpersonal relationships and all, right? Then you may read the same text in a totally different way, right? Now, Anupama said that now Tess of the D'Urbervilles she has done, right? So you might have a total different point of view of Tess of the D'Urbervilles after 10 years of time, right? That's it, right? Now, if I give you an example, right? I would like to give you an interesting example. Here, have you, now most of this generation are different, right? So have you watched Do Daruo series, Dilmi?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
You might have heard of Do Daruo, right? Do Daruo, Nadayo. That was done by Nalan Mendis, right? So can you remember who was the, we liked it so much. I could remember that now. It was telecast on Saturday evening, right? Only once at a time, once a week. No, they telecast now. That ran for 1 year more than, but only one episode for a week, right? Then we don't the Yasorave and other teledramas, when they were telecast, we don't go anywhere. Catch up TV right? If you miss, and YouTube, remember, there's no YouTube versions. If you miss it, that is missed forever, right? So අපි ගෙවල් වලින් කොහෙවත් යන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වෙලාවට බලන්න ඉන්න මේ ටෙලිග්‍රෑම් එක බලන්නව ගෙදර ඉන්න. Right? When ගමන් බිමන් we postpone them and you be there just to watch the telegram, because you once miss, it is always miss, right? You know that way we analyze, we enjoy. Then when I came to university and we had a different points of view, all these things, then now this Columbaga, who is that, who said that they have watched we have watched that.
Also, I have heard of that. I haven't watched it.
Okay, now yes, anybody could remember who sponsored that teleseries? Because sponsor can anyone remember? Nadayo, Do Daruo. Nalan Mendis produced. I'm asking you the sponsor. Huh? No, huh? Not SP Lienage. What is it? Selinco Insurance, right? Selinco Insurance, big go, small. Selinco protects them all. Selinco Insurance again, make throughout, right? Then suddenly, what happens in the show story is that suddenly, now most of the time, the elderly people are not looked after well, right? All the time they get very helpless, right? Their children are very, very selfish, right? They want to get anything, all the things from their parents, right? Then එහෙම කියලා දැන් ඒ සුදු සීයටයි අර the mother's character, යාගේ අම්මගේ නම මොකද්ද මේ සුදු සීයා තමයි කෙනෙක්. අම්මා සුදු සීයා is not married, that is
As I remember, say it's Sudhu Harmony.
Or Sudhu Harmony or something, right? එතකොට මේ අම්මයි character, right? She's also undergoing a lot of sufferings and all. එතකොට දැන් සුදු සීයාට යන එනමන් නැතු යනවා because she is not married. එතකොට මැද යනවා යෂ්ටිය පොලිස්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔබට වයසට ගියාම pension එකක් නැත්නම් එන්න. Right? We will have, right? We will have pension. Then Yasoda Vimdar later came and she was running a garment, right? Okay, garment. I could still remember that. And one episode, the whole garment is robbed. Then Channa Pereira was a boyfriend at that time. That is Katawe. Though he comes and he gives calls and all, police station and all. Even then, come kade harla banno, come mukut ne yagi, come horakam kala, right? Madayano redisa purakshani, right? But නැත්තම් අපි ටග් ගාලා අපව බඩු ගෙනලා ටින් ගාලා සෙට් කරලා දෙනවා. This is the way, right? Now Niroshana, now did you get the point, right? Then later we understood that these are not teledramas, these 25-minute advertisements, right? 25 minutes advertisement, right? Did you get my point, right?
Yes,
Same text,
sir.
right? Same text. We had one attitude at one time and totally different attitude at the next time. Hashini, did you get the point?
Yes, sir.
Now read what you wrote last, right? And the same reader may read the text differently at different times. Did you get the point? Hashini, now you may be reading a text, right? A beautiful love story, maybe Jane Naya or Wuthering Heights is not a beautiful love story, right? But it's a very realistic love story. right? Then let's say Jane Naya, or what do you call it now? Let's say even Sons and the Lovers or something like, right? So when you read it at grade 9, you may not have experience in romantic, but when you read it at the age of 25, you have romantic experience. So then you will get it in a different way, right? Did you understand what I say, Kolambagi?
I have an experience with this Kaluvara Gedara. At the beginning, when I was a young child, when I was watching it, I was like, what is this? The same house, they're having 2 wives and all. I was very angry over the drama. But later on, I mean, during this COVID, when they retelecast it,
Yeah, I also watched.
The whole meaning of it, I mean, like, yes, this is what happens in life, and see, they rejected this child, and finally he's the one who's looking after them. You know,
That's what you will understand. You will understand this Marxism there, right? Feudalistic society. Then yes, I had the same experience. Karuvala Gedara at the beginning. Now that was once a week, but in this Corona time, every day it was telecast. I also watched, right? So then we got a different perspective. Fatima, that's quite true, right? What did you understand new in the second series? That is
the bond they created, and why these 2 women, I mean, she was always, I mean, having disrespect for the second wife, and the feelings they had for the children.
Yeah, then you can analyze analyze that one in feminist point of view.
Yes.
You can analyze it in Marxist point of view. How class changes, and when class changes, how people behave. And
psychoanalytical.
Exactly. Psychoanalytic theory, right? So that's it, right? That is now you understand what's going to be your assignment. Then you can take Karuvala Gedara, for example, and analyze in 4 theories at least. That is what I'm saying. Analyze in at least 4 theories, right? Okay. Once we teach you, it would be easy for you, but you can't. You don't need to wait till then, right? So I will send it, and they will decide the time frame and all. I don't know, right? So same, right? Example. Then the other one, maybe the other solid example that, right? Example, reading of Village in the Jungle as a malignant fiction. Reading of Village in the Jungle as a malignant fiction. Now, have you read Village in the Jungle? I think, right? Even in colleges of education, Anupama, is it a text? Village in the Jungle. It was at one time.
No, sir. No, sir. We did.
You did it?
Yes, sir.
No, we didn't.
Yes. Who says yes?
I'm Niroshan, sir.
Niroshan, where do you National Colleges of Education?
No, sir. I'm a HND student.
HND students. You have, right? You have studied which HND, Niroshan?
Trincomalee ITI.
That's fine. Right then, have you heard of what do you know? I think you know what malignant fiction is, no? Do you? No. Yes
no,
or
sir.
no? No.
No.
Right. Now tell me, Niroshan, what do you feel about Village in the Jungle? Something.
It's all about what happened to the that lady. What's the name? Punchi Manika.
Punchi Manika.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. What do you feel about Silindu?
Silindu is a good person, but because of that Arachi and Pranab Mudali's work, he went to the jail.
Right. Okay. Then I will tell you now. Malignant fiction, you can read in my book also. You can understand now. Village in the Jungle. We have a film, Baddegama. We have a we have a drama also translated and made into a drama by McIntyre. Right, it is translated to Sinhala also. Right, so everybody studies and all. Then that is people appreciate. But right, we have the idea that now this Leonard Woolf came and wrote about village in the now to generalize Sri Lankans. Right, this is what they did to Africans also. Then Chinua Achebe said, no, you can't write black man's story. It is we who should be writing black man's story. Then he wrote Things Fall Apart, right? I'll be talking about Things Fall Apart in detail when we do Marxist, post-colonial theory, right? But, right, now here, now look at this, Niroshan. In this particular village, there's no temple, Niroshan, right? If
Yes,
there's no temple, there may be a church. If there's no church, there may be a mosque. If there's no mosque, there will be a kovil, right? We don't have villages in this in our country in which we do not have one of these four, right? There are no villages. All the villages in this country, you have at least a temple, church, mosque, or kovil. Hari, so make a galewahama. If when that one is removed, that becomes savages. People are uncivilized, right? Okay, why he has selected a village in the jungle? Why he can't select village beside the jungle? Right? Why he can't select a village among the community that is close to Gampaha, close to Ratnapura, close to Matara, right? Why he's taking a village in the jungle, right? Then how he talks about it, right? Now think of it, right? So give me a second. I will. Niroshan, did you understand what I said? Now, Silindu is introduced as, now, Silindu sleeps his eyes wide open, right? People are not sleeping their eyes wide open, right? Only animals are sleeping like that. So some kind of an animal imagery was given to Silindu, right? And all these people, now when Baboon has certain feelings for Ranmanika, he's going to rape the girl, right? That is not done by civilized people. Now, Sri Lankans are not doing it, right? When you have a feeling for a girl, are you going to rape the girl, right? So that is not something that we do, right? So he wanted to show like some Sri Lankan like now animalistic image and all. So then British people may like to read. In this country, people are like that, right? They are always going after this black magic, Guruka, right? We are not so. By the time we put up Ruwanalisaya and other things, they were in the jungles. The British people were not even civilized, right? They got civilized after Christ's birth. Right? Niroshan, did you get my point? That is what is called malignant fiction, right? Malignant fiction means a fiction written to give a negative picture of a community or civilization or something, right? So we did not understand that damage. Niroshan, did you get my point?
Yes, sir.
Right? Now you can read the novel now in a different perspective, right? As a malignant fiction. I will invite you to read it and see, right? The damage done to Sri Lanka by Village in the Jungle, right? The title itself is a kind of damage, right? That gives a negative. Village in the jungle, right? Why you want to select a village in the jungle, right? Why you can't select just a village which has a temple, which has a kovil, which has a then mosque or church, right? Then Hamdru or father or a Pujakatuma will do that, right? They will not let the people to be like savages, right? So that's it. Now, same text is read at a different point of view at different time. So that is reader response, right? That is reader response, right? Okay. Now, do you agree with the now the point of view of Village in the Jungle that I shared, Ashra?
Yes, sir. It's strangeness and wildness
Yeah.
associated with the jungle.
That's right. So that was incorrect. Now, that's not a true fiction. Sri Lankans are not like that. Have you ever seen a Sri Lankan who is sleeping his eyes wide open? Right? We don't sleep eyes wide open. That bassa and owl and other animals are there that may be reading like that, maybe sleeping like that. So, right? That animalistic imagery was given, right? Okay. Then write this down. In reader response criticism, we believe that literature has no objective meaning or existence, right? In reader response criticism, we believe that literature has no objective meaning or existence, right? The way I feel about the text is different from the way you feel about the text, right? You can't copy, right? Okay, it has no
Literature
objective.
has no object.
Literature now believe that literature has no objective meaning or existence. Objective meaning or existence, that is what I explained last week, right? Over and over again, right? Existence in the sense that now it doesn't exist in the way that you think all the time. You think it exists one way, that somebody might think in another way, right? As each reader will interact, as each reader will interact with the text differently. As each reader will interact with the text differently, the text may have more than one valid interpretations. The text may have more than one valid interpretations. Right? Okay. Then you can have a lot of examples, right? Now, have you? There should be people who have done like Evelyn at one time. Have you studied Evelyn? Anybody who has studied Evelyn?
Yes, sir.
Dilmi, right? Now, Evelyn finally took a decision. What is the decision she took?
To stay with their family.
Stay,
Oh, yes.
stay back.
Now, what do you think that her decision is right or wrong? She should have gone with the boyfriend Franco. She took a decision to stay back, right? Irrespective of the fact that there was a message given escape, because mother went mad, sacrificing for others. Mother went mad when she dies. So she felt that same thing can happen to her. But finally, she decided not to live with the boyfriend and stay at home, though it is so much of pressure, right? The decision she made is right or wrong, according to you?
It has both sides, sir.
No, I'm asking you both sides. What do you feel?
I feel it's right.
You feel it's right, right? I may feel it's wrong. That's it, right? Did you get the point, right?
Yes, sir.
You think it's right. Your friend might think it's wrong, right? So that is reader response, right? That is reader response. You can't say you have to think in the way I think. That's not literature, right? That's not literature, right? Okay, right. Then example, Evelyn's decisions. Sumitra in Homecoming, the Romeo and Juliet. Now Romeo and Juliet is read as a tragic comedy, right? Romeo and Juliet is read as a tragic comedy. Now that Romeo and Juliet is supposed to be the most popular comedy in the world. I made a mistake. Most popular tragedy in the world, right? Now Chamini Panagoda. Can I hear you?
Yes.
Right. You are from Panagoda, no?
No, sir.
Where
I
do you
live
come
in
from?
Ragama.
Ah, father is from Panagoda.
Yes, father's name is Panagoda.
Right. Okay. Father's name is Panagoda, not Panagoda. No. Chamini, now, what do you mean by a tragedy? I'm asking you, Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy. What do you mean by a tragedy?
That own in the own way of.
Are you teaching or what are you doing?
So I am working in a government sector. Government.
School.
Yes. No, actually, I'm working postal department.
Ah, right, good, right, okay. Yes, and now you think, wow, now have you got the book? Now get the book and read it. Now it explains what tragedy is, what comedy is, what tragicomedy is, right? So you got to understand those are basic things. Ashini,
Okay.
what is a tragedy?
Tragedy is that which has a sad ending.
Yeah, a drama, mainly a drama which has ending sadly for the main characters, right? Sometimes for other characters it may be happy, right? I have given an example, right? So Merchant of Venice is a comedy. Merchant of Venice is a comedy, but it is a tragedy for Shylock, right? For Shylock, Merchant of Venice is a tragedy, but Antonio Bassanio Portia, it's a comedy, right? It depends on, right? So then Romeo and Juliet, in Romeo and Juliet, now both the lovers commit suicide, right? In the name of love, right? Then it's a tragedy. Why it is called tragic comedy? Can anyone tell me? Right, I'm doing now.
It's both tragic and comic elements.
What is the comic element that you find there?
Comic means committing suicide.
Yeah, committing suicide is tragic. I'm asking you, what is the comic element that you find in Romeo and Juliet, if it is a tragic comedy?
They are dying together.
Ah, it's a comic thing, no?
No, sir.
That is what you wish one day.
No.
Then how can you call it a comedy then? Right? I think dying together is also a tragedy. Right? Now, why it becomes a comedy is that, right? Now, these two families.
And also cry.
Can't hear.
Serious drama and also funny moments.
No, it is called tragic comedy mainly because now these Capulets and Montagues, two families, they were rivalry families for more than 10 generations. They kill each other. They fight each other. Even the servants are fighting when they meet at the market, right? Okay, when they meet at the market, even the servants are fighting. But after this committing suicide, after the death of Romeo and Juliet, they understood that we can't go further and there will be a lot of murders or a lot of committing suicide in future. Then these two families got united. There was a reconciliation between these two families, Capulets and Montagues, right? So in that way, it is a happy ending because this rivalry comes to an end. Ashiba, did you get the point?
Yes, sir.
This vendetta, this rivalry comes to an end. So then reading it like that, we call it now Romeo and Juliet can be considered as a tragicomedy, right? So that is also a reader response theory, right? It is not just a tragedy, right? It is a tragicomedy, right? I just gave an example, right? All right, with that one, now do you understand, right? Do right? Does everyone understand what reader response theory is? Right? Just tell me, right? Then my class again, whether you have understood or not, right? I don't like so much of this online classes, but what to do? We don't have any other form, right? Right. So what do you feel now? Are you confident about analyzing a text in reader response theory, and do you understand what reader response theory, right? Do you know what happens and what you got to do in reader response theory? Tell me, what do you feel? Anybody who doesn't understand, anybody who has questions related to reader response theory? Understand or not?
So can we have, when talking about a literary text, if we have different opinions at the same time, like we can say that Romeo and Juliet is a tragic comedy or a comedic tragedy. Some can say the comedic element is better than the tragic element in the story, like that. Can we have the same opinion, two opinions at the same time when we are doing a reader response criticism?
Exactly. Now, Dylan,
yes,
you have that freedom. Now, because of these things, we consider it as a tragedy. Give the example in the text. Then give the example in the text and say, but as I told you, as two families got united, reconciliation, on that aspect, we can call it a tragic comedy.
Yeah.
Did you get the point?
No, yes. No, I mean, when talking about any literary text, can we have two opinions on the same subject?
You can have two opinions or more than two opinions.
Contrastive ones.
Contrastive ones. You have to give up now. Because of this one, it is good. Give the proof, right?
Yeah.
Because of this case, this is bad, right? Otherwise, you can't say Dylan.
Yes.
Proven in the text, you can say. That is reader response. You don't need to 100% have. Now that's very funny if you think that this should be good. Now you don't have that good because of these things, bad because of these things. Dylan, that is contradictory opinions.
Yes.
Right? You are the judge. You are the king. You are the lord of, right? You have that freedom in this response theory, right? Nobody could say that. No. You may have your own idea. This is what I feel. What I feel because of this word, I feel this one. Because of this technique, I feel this one. Right? But don't just say it, Dylan. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Right?
And sir, we can use the techniques and other elements to our advantage in criticism, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. The technique that I miss, you might get.
Yeah.
Right. Technique you miss, somebody else might get. That's it. That's reader response, no? Right. Yeah. That is not going to be.
So, Taming of the Shrew, is it a tragicomedy?
Taming of the Shrew is actually a comedy, right? Because finally everybody is happy, right? There are no negative things happening, right? Negative things are happening at the beginning. Finally, the show becomes one of the most beautiful and faithful and very beautiful, very good wife.
Disciplined.
Yeah. In a way, Hashiba, when you ask that question, I feel that as far as if you analyze in feminist point of view, you could call it like this is the way that husbands are cutting the women into their shape. Right, Hashiba, did you get the point?
Yes,
right? This is the way that husbands do. I mean, but still, that husband does it in a very, very what do you call it? Very acceptable way. No, he doesn't harm the girl. Right? I'm talking of Taming of the Shrew. Right, Hashiba?
Yes. Yes.
Do you understand now? Do you agree with what I said? Or you may have different point of view. Perfectly okay. That's what I'm telling you. Right? Okay. You have a son or daughter?
Me?
No,
I'm a married sir.
You are not married. Somebody's baby is shouting.
Yeah,
no?
that's my nephew. That was my nephew.
Your nephew. Right, that's good. And sounds next year when I got something of your own. Right. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? I
Sir,
hope that. Yes, tell me.
Sir, anyway, it depends up with the experiences that we have gained now. When I was thinking about action and reaction 10 years before, if I read it right now, so there is a gap, the way how I think right now. So I might be having some doubts about it might be wrong in 10 years before. So like,
Exactly. That is what your creativity is developed. Now here, you might be sympathizing with Lokunanda those days, and yeah, but now you might say now Kusuma is a big victim, right? Lokunanda is a hypocrite. But later you might say Lokunanda also had reasons to do so, right? You don't need to be angry with Lokunanda, but Lokunanda had reasons to do because she's not good looking and she did not get a chance to be married and she did not get any proposals and all. But Lokunanda asked Nangi to keep the books away. When Nangi was going to teach her how to read and write, Lokunanda said that I will give you in marriage to the right person at the right time. That was one of the biggest lies she told. Right? Lokunanda planned it out and stopped Colombo journey. Right? So likewise, yes. Right.
And one thing, so you told at the beginning about the location. So yet can we talk about the setting and get our point?
Yeah. Now, if you understand certain things from the text about the setting, comment on that one, right? But your knowledge of the background, don't say that this was early Sri Lanka and at that time Sri Lanka was, no, that is not necessary. You have to limit yourself to the text only.
Okay.
What is given in the text, you can get. If the text explains a place and it is Colombo, so we have to take it as Colombo. Where we have to take it as Payagala, right? So, because it is said in Payagala, said in the text. Okay. All right. I hope now, I hope that everybody understood. That's what I'm asking you. Are you saying yes or no?
So you mean, whatever the aspect we are looking at it, we should be able to justify our answer on our end.
Right? You should be able to justify. Right? To do that, you have to have a background. You should know the techniques. You should know how to develop a theme like that. That's you should have. And to do that, you need a practice also. You can't just do it at the exam. You have to have a practice. Right? Okay, then everybody is happy. Oh, now
yes, sir. We understand.
Right. Okay.
So
Then we'll have
example activity in the class.
We did it last week.
Yeah, I mean, making us write about it and then sharing it.
That's what we are going to do. I'm going to analyze out with you.
Then fine.
Old man at the bridge. Yes. Afterwards only this. I have to finish it today. Right. Okay. Then we'll have a small break of 15 minutes and we'll join afterwards. Huh? Is that clear?
Sure, sir.
Right. Okay. And after that also you can ask questions, anything you need clarification and all, I will let you know.
Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I will call you, sir. Sir, I will call you, sir. Sir, may please tell me how to join this, eh? When recording in progress කරනවා නේ. සවුන්ඩ් එක අල්ල යනවා කියන්නේ එහාට යනවද ඔන්නේ
මයික් එක වැඩ.
ඔව් ආයි මම කරන්න ඕන කරලා තිබන්න පුළුවන් නේද ඒ වෙලාව කරගන්න ඕනද ඒ වෙලාවේ කරන්න ඕනද ඒකට මේ කරන් ගිහිල්ලා අතන ටච් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ ඕන් කරගන්නන්නේ අපි අර කරන්ට් සුදු පාට මේක තියෙන කරන්ට් තියෙන පවර් මොකද තියෙන්නේ පවර් පැක් නෑ ඒක තියෙනවනේ කරන්ට් එක ගියුණු තරකට ගහපුවම මොකද සිග්නල් එක වැඩෙන්නේ ඒතර මේක කරන්ට් එක ගාමනේ පැය දෙකක් තියෙනවනේ පැය කියලා තියෙනවද මේක ඔයා මෙහෙම කියන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපි ඔයා හරි කොලේ කරලා පස්සේ කතා කරලා පස්සේ පොඩ්ඩකින්
Okay. You can hear me now. So it is 15 minutes gone. So we have to start and we have to finish. This five-man show story. Then is there any questions related? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we do.
Yes. Yes.
Right. Okay. Take out. I hope that you have hard copies, right? So that out actually written by Robert Frost, right? That is the only thing that you know, right? Sometimes when you are given a poem, you don't know even the writer's name, right? The out you have to analyze from the title itself. Like out is taken from Shakespeare's Othello, Shakespeare's Macbeth, right? In which Macbeth says that out life is a brief canvas, right? Then you may know it. But you can't write that one for reader response theory, right? So this is taken from that one. That is new historicism, right? When you're analyzing it from new historicism, you have to say that this is taken from that and this and so, and you have to comment on that one, right? But reader response theory, we don't want that background. What we got to do is that here, we have to say that out the title suggests something impermanent, right? Which is not permanent, and it may suggest impermanency of life, because later when you read the read the poem, we will understand that the title suggests impermanency of life. The life in this moment he's so much alive and active, next moment he's dead, right? Okay, one could be dead. So that is what one thing that is analyzed, right? Okay, then in the poem, right? Have you has everybody got the poem in your hand now? Huh?
Yes.
Lilini?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
We have got.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Then here, the poem, the location of the poem is what? It's a timber mill, right? It's a timber mill. Timber mill situated on a let's say on a rock or on a mountain, like, right? So it's a hilly area, right? It's a hilly area. When you read it, you will understand, right? So you don't need to go to background. So the information provided in the text, right? Information, we are depending on the information providing in the text, right? So it's hilly area, right? When there's a mountain. Now, what you see when you go to Kandy, right? When you are passing Kadugannava, you see on your right there are mountains, right? So such a mountain on a halfway through this timber mill is built, right? Timber mill is built, right? So on the over it there is jungle. Then the trees are cut and brought to the timber mill, and they are cut into pieces, and then easy to travel, easy to transport, right? Easy to transport from the timber mill. So that is why the timber mill is set on a high place, because after cutting the timber, cutting the trees, it's easy to transport. Right? Basso, right? So if you have you should have been to you may have been to a timber mill, right? Then if you haven't been to a timber mill, when you are passing that one, you might experience this. I invite you, if you have never been to a timber mill, right? Just for the sake of understanding this poem, please go and visit, right? Visit in the sense that you can just go in front of that one and just peep in through it, right? And you can wait for a moment and see actually what happens, right? Same thing still happens, right? So there is a sound which is repeatedly coming. You know, the saw is there with the motor. Motor has a belt. That belt is, there's a joint in the belt. When that joint is passed in the motor, right? So there is a sound created. That basso, snarl and rattle. මෙහෙම දිගෑරෙනවා එතෙනවා. අර ගිහිලා අර wheel එකේ දිගෑරෙනවා. Sorry, wheel එකේ එතෙනවා. It is then rattle, right? Okay, එතෙනවා දිගෑරෙනවා. The basso, snarl and rattle in the yard, right? Underline, and made dust and drops fraudulent sticks of wood, right? Made dust, right? Basso, snarl and rattle in the yard. So the poem starts with what? Very much monotonous sound, right? Not only monotonous sound, what is the issue? What is the issue? Right? It's very noisy. The issue is sound pollution, right? The poem starts with the issue, sound pollution. And repeated sound, which suggests monotony as well, right? Later we can develop it as the monotony of their lives, right? Their lives are also monotonous. They're working in a factory, so everything, every day, same thing happens. Same sound, same action, right? Okay. If you don't want non-monotonous, right? Okay. Profession with variety, the best profession is actually teaching, right? So you get every batch every
Why
year.
is traveling?
Sorry.
Traveling is also.
Yeah, traveling as a job, can you do it? Yeah, maybe you are
People
guide
do.
or, huh?
People do traveling as a job because they get a lot of sponsorships. When they
Yes, and sometimes you work as a
Tourism
guide.
is also there, sir. Tourism.
Tourism, yes.
Guides,
Right?
yeah.
Yes, there are
tourism.
other jobs, even medical profession, because the patients are changing all the time, right?
But always with negativity, always trouble. I will current.
Yeah, yes, there are, right? So all pluses and minuses are there, right? However,
But teaching
right?
outstands it, sir.
Yeah, that is what
Actually, yeah.
teaching, because you have concerts, you have trips, right? May not be now, but you have a sports meet, right? You have big matches. So that full of variety. I actually feel now, I started my career as a teacher when I was 21, right? I work as a teacher for 10 years, right? That was the best part of my career. Now the salary that I get is maybe that 4 times of a teacher or 5 times of a teacher, but still the pleasure I got, the enjoyment I had as a teacher is not there, right? I have different kind of enjoyment because getting back the feedback from the students, and I teach for so many students now at a different level. This is what I wanted, of course, to teach literature, right? That for that one we have limited chances in the school level, right? But however it is, that's kind of a dream job, right? Okay, but there are minuses also. The right, that made dust means, okay, now the first one is sound pollution. Made dust means what? Air pollution, yes, right? The dust is,
Yes, sir. If we are just looking at it at the top level of the meaning, it's just the dust that is produced by the visual image, right?
yeah,
By
that's
the yeah. And
yeah,
if you see the other way around, it's the pollution that is caused in the
pollution, yes.
air. Yeah.
Visual imagery and auditory imagery. It starts with auditory imagery. That sound, buzz, snartle, and rattle, and there is a sound also created. I told you the takatakas, 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 the same sound, right? And visual imagery, auditory imagery, right? And the issue is monotony, right? And sweet-scented stuff means, right? If mahogany is cut, and Jack is cut, කොස් කපනවා. මහේෂා කොස් කපනකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ?
We get the smell.
No.
Tactile imagery.
කොහොල්ල ගෑවෙනවා. කොහොල්ල අතේ ගෑවෙනවා. Right? කොහොල්ල අතේ ගෑවෙනවා. මේ හැබැයි that's a different case. This is timber, right? Jack timber, right? Sweet scented stuff. When the breeze drew across it, there's a cool breeze draw across it, right? So then cool, there you can call it tactile imagery also. How do you know that the breeze is cool? You touch it, right? The breeze will touch your body so that you get the coolness. So that is tactile imagery. Tactile imagery means touch, right? Okay. Then tactile imagery, oh, I made a mistake. Is it taste? No, it is touch.
No, sir, feeling, right? Feeling.
Feeling. The taste is
olfactory, right? Olfactory.
Olfactory, yes,
Yeah.
yes, right? Then yes, sweet-scented stuff when the breeze drew across it, right? Just air pollution plus tactile imagery, right? 5 mountain range on one behind the other. Underline 5 mountain range on one behind the other. It's a beautiful scenery. Definitely visual imagery. Now, where I invite you, when you go to Kandy, right? When you climb the mountain of the bus or your vehicle or whatever, when you climb the mountain of Kadugannava, this is what you see, right? I also saw it after this poem only. Now we just see mountains, but if you see it carefully, there are 5 mountain ranges, one behind the others. එක පේලියක් පේනවා, ඒ පේලිය පිටිපස්සේ එහා තව පේලියක් පේනවා. එහෙම ඈත far away in purple color, නිකන් දම් පාටින් වගේ ඈත තව එකක් පේනවා. There are 5 mountain ranges, one behind the others, right? Okay, so that's again beautiful imagery, and that's environmental description, right? Okay, 5 mountain ranges, one behind the others. Under the sunset, fine to Vermont. Vermont is the name of a place in, right? It's like if you are passing Kadugannava, as I told you, Mavanalatam Pena. Vermont is the name of a place like that. Rabukkanatam Pena. I don't know whether Rabukkan is on that side, right? Whatever, right? And the soap, snartle, rattle, and snartle and rattle. That monotony is again highlighted. Whatever happens, whatever you see, whatever you hear, this so continues in the same sound, in the same way, right? And as it ran, light had bear a load, whether the saw is having this log on it or without it, same sound, same action, right? That again, as I told you, it shows the monotony of life, monotony of the life of these workers, right? Okay, right. It may suggest, and nothing happened, underline, this is important, day was all but done, right? Nothing happened, the day was, දවස ඉවරයි, හැබැයි දවස ඉවර වෙන්නම ආවා, කිසි දෙයක් සිද්ධ වුණේ නැහැ. Nothing happened, the day is all but done, right? Why? Because I told you at the very beginning last week, what is important in literature is not what is said, but what is not said, right? What is important in literature is not what is said, but what is not said. And nothing happened means what? What is not said there?
Satisfaction.
Nothing productive happened in their lives.
Nothing productive happens in their lives. So,
Satisfaction of the workers' lives.
are there satisfaction? Huh?
No one did that day.
And nothing happened, the day is all but done.
But something is going to happen in the future.
That's it. Nothing happens means get ready, something is going to happen, right? Right? So this is kind of foreshadowing technique, right? Very effective technique in literature, foreshadowing. Foreshadowing means, what is foreshadowing? F-O-R-E, right? F-O-R-E, foreshadowing technique. Foreshadowing means, can anyone tell me?
Hinting of what is going to happen in future.
Yeah, a clue of.
A hint, a clue, yeah.
A hint or clue of what is going to happen is given, right? A clue of what is going to happen is given. People are sometimes, now depending on that, his and ඒක foreshaddow it in the memo, right? මං ගෙදරින් එනකොට හූනෙක් කෑ ගැහුවා, right? හූන චුක් චුක්, right? Gecko said chuk chuk and then this happened. So that is a foreshadowing, right? කාක්කා කෑ ගැහුවා, Romeo. So we always go for this foreshadowing, right? Make a siddha. But foreshadowing in literature is, it is said that when the drama begins, if you see a gun hanging on a wall of this background, right? In the drama background, if you see a gun is hanging, so you should know that, and at some point in the drama, that gun is going to fire. Maisha, is that clear?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
If a
So
gun
it's not exactly like the superstition, right? That is
No.
something else.
No,
Yeah.
this is not
But
superstitious.
superstition also has the
Yeah,
yes,
that is
sir.
also now.
The lizard
What I was
sound and all.
talking was, Maisha, now our practical life, we go
Yes,
the
yes,
way
yes.
we go for foreshadowing, but in literature, it is very powerful technique.
Yeah, very clear. Yes, sir. Yes,
Right,
I
very
got
clear.
it. Thank
Now
you,
I
sir.
have seen that there was a film series that was very popular under accidents in a film. What the film series under, you might have seen a local accident when a film
Final Destination.
Final Destinations. And AK සමහරලාට film එක පටන් ගන්නකොට they go for a trip. I have seen that they go for a trip and they say get the permission from the parents, and they go, when the vehicle leaves, there is a blood mark underneath. Follow lay පැල්ලමක්. So that is the foreshadowing. You might be able to remember it if you have seen that film, right? Can you remember it, Mahisha? Now, how the make you remember the Final Destination, right?
Sir, it's Anuttara, sir.
Film or second film, I can't remember.
Yes, sir. It was the first one.
First one, no? Right.
Yes.
And others are also invited to see and understand what foreshadowing is, right? Okay. You should be able to use it throughout your life, right? So I'm giving you a life training, right? Okay. Right. Then nothing happened, the day is all but done. Call it a day. That is, call it a day means what? Okay, finished. Right? Again, hang his boot. Right? Mahanam hang his boot. Again, cricket gahila namattuwa. Right? Mahanama calls it a day. Right? Then call it a day. I wish they might have said. Right? I wish they might have said. Underline, I wish they might have said. There's an important word here. What is the word? I wish they might have said. What is the important word there? Shashi.
Wish. Said.
Wish.
I circle the word I, right? For the first time, writer intervenes the poem, right? So far he didn't come. It is who is I there? The writer, poet, right? Poet intervention, because he also has become sensitive, and making the reader more sensitive, he comes to the poem. I wish they might have said, දැන් වැඩ ඇති. දැන් වැඩ නවත්තන්න. එහෙම කිව්වනම් කොච්චර හොඳද? How nice. Okay, day is done. All right, work is done. Go home. Right? Then this tragedy would have been avoided. Right? This is if the work is going to come to an end at 4 o'clock in the evening. This is like 3:40. Right? This is like 3:40. Less than half an hour left. Right? Then call it a day. I wish they might have said, but they did not say. To please the boy by giving him the half hour, right? Okay, at least why don't you give this boy half hour early, half hour break, right? That boy counts so much, underline. That boy counts so much when saved from work, right? As far as work is concerned, the boy is an important person in the mill, right? This shows children employment of children, right? Which is illegal, right? Young boy has been given a crucial job here, right? Later it is developed as child exploitation, right? Why such a young boy is employed, right? Why do you think this young boy? Huh?
Child labor.
Child labor. So yeah, poverty. Whose poverty is that? Boy's poverty. Now, why this boy is given a crucial job in the farm, in the mill? Because you don't need to pay more, right? You can give a less salary and get a big work, right? So that is what they do, right? Right then, that boy counts so much when saved from work. His sister stood near in her apron. So that comes now, the drama begins, right? Okay, it's like dramatic. Then the girl, we do not know whether it's sister, actually his own sister, or I hope that this is like Sri Lankan culture. What is Sri Lankan culture? Right? That is one of the best things of Sri Lankan culture. We have to continue. Right? අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් නම් කියලා කතා කරන්නේ අපේ culture. Right? Hashiba, even in that is not a culture. Hashiba, Fatima, can I hear you?
Yes, sir.
Hashiba, now even in now we all are in Sri Lankan culture now. Hashiba, now even your case, are you calling your sisters normally by name, or you say Akka, Sudu Akka, Kiri Akka, Chuti Akka?
We say Akka, sir.
Yeah, that's
like we don't call with the name.
Right. We
In
don't
the
call,
sister, we respect
call by
him.
name. And even for adults, you call Nanda or something like something in from your village. You don't
Yes.
call them by name,
Yeah.
right? Even for that, for an
No.
adult, when you meet on the road or something, we normally use, even in bus, we call Akke. Ehemani kiyane Malli, right? So that is right. So that is Sri Lankan culture, right? It is all time.
And we call uncle and auntie. This mama word is very mean.
That's that is whether you are Tamil or Islam or Burger or whatever, that's Sri Lankan culture, right? Then when a culture sometimes, you know, in European context, they call their parents by name. Mr. Harrison kila kata karnolu, or the children or parents are always calling children by name, right? But we never call, right? So my parents never call me by name. They call me Lokokuta, right? I have never called my daughter by her name, right? I say Chutidu, right? With that name itself, we have a bond. That's what I'm saying, right? It's nothing to do with the poem, right? So then, I wish they might have called that that boy counts so much. That's what I told you. His sister stood near them in an apron. Apron එකක් ගන්නවනේ අඳින්නේ වියනකොට ඇඳලා මෙහෙම ට්‍රේ එකක් අරගෙන the girl comes to the timber mill, right? When the work is going on, she said, what? Supper. Amena තේ බොන්න, right? How's the තේ එක? She said supper. At the word, right? Okay, I told you the drama begins now. At the word, me vachaneta, the so, right? As if to prove, underline, if Sose knew what supper meant. හරියට කියත දන්නා වගේ supper කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා. As if to prove what supper meant. Right? Fatima, what is the technique there? What's the technique there?
Giving light.
Yeah, very good. What do you call it? Personification. Personification. Now you give life to a non-living thing. Right? Gasak kata kara. Right? Okay. මේ උදැල්ලක් කතා කරා. එහෙම දීලා එක ටීචර් කෙනෙක් දීලා finally tractor එකක් කතා කරා. Right? For 3.5 pages, one boy wrote brum 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 brum, and within brackets finally diesel liver. Right? Diesel liver නැත්තම් දිගටම brum brum. Right? Tractor එකක් කතා කරා. Right? Okay. Then so that's it. Right? So then that is personification. Right? The tractor has been given life, right? Okay, personification. Then as if to prove, knew what supper meant. Then what is the meaning of the supper, right? Only a person would know, right? Leaped out at boy's hand, underline. Leaped out at boy's hand again, right? Okay, leaped out at boy's hand or seemed to leap, right? Leaped out at boy's hand. Put there Roman number 1, right? Seem to leap, Roman number 2. He must have given the hand, Roman number 3. What are they? What are they?
Explaining what has happened in 3 ways, like after kapuna the kapila the giving more emphasis.
Why he can't be certain?
The reaction of the so to the supper is given with 3 options. Whether to leap out at the boy's
It
hand
was so
or seem
quick.
to leap, or he must.
Yeah,
It would have
Mahisha,
happened so quick.
That's the point. Now it is an accident, right? It is
Yes.
an accident. In an accident,
With a fractions of seconds,
yeah,
it would have
yeah,
happened.
Exactly, fraction of a time. It have so many things are happening. You can't guess which one is which, right? You can't guess which one is which. So this is speculation. We call this technique. Actually, I have introduced this technique. I developed this, right? Speculation. Speculation means guessing, right? He gives 3 options, right? Robert Frost gives the 3 options. One of them might have happened, right? What is that? Leaped out at boy's hand. Atata pannada. Seems to leap. Penne naha, panna wage pevunada. Right? He must have given the hand. Olla ata dunnada. Right? So we do not know. Right? Okay. 3 options. 3 speculations given by the poet. Because it is an accident. Right? You can't say, if you have faced an accident, I have faced 1 or 2 accidents, right? Even I can't understand which happened first and which one was second, and I guess in a very brief time, so many things happen. Right? Then the person from the front car, he asked, I can't remember. Brake ගහන වෙලාවත් නගෝ right අරක වැදුනා ටං ටං ගාව කට සද්ද දෙකම ආවා, right? In my car both the sides are damaged, right? Back and front both, right? It was at that time about 3 lakhs. Luckily at that time I had an insurance, right? It was a car කුඩු වෙන්න හපුණා, ඒකේ insurance එකක් තිබුණේ 22 lakhs ගියා මේ හදන්න. So different case, right? I was just talking about an accident, right? Leaped out at boy's hand and seems to leap. He must have given the hand. However it was, neither refused the meeting, underline. Neither refused the meeting. That's a beautiful way to say it. What is that? Ironic sense, right? Neither refused the meeting means what? Huh?
Anyhow, it happened.
Anyhow, the
Yeah.
2 met.
The situation took
right?
place, yes.
So and the hand met.
The hand met together.
Right? So and the hand met. When the so and the hand met, who gets the damage? Which gets the damage? Definitely the hand. Right?
Same like the cloth and the on
Definitely
the
the
fence.
hand. Right? Neither refused the meeting, but the hand. Right? Okay. So one of the beautiful things of the poem is that you can't call it beautiful. One of the most effective, most touching things of the poem is that what actually happened, Robert Frost doesn't explain, right? Because it is obvious. When the saw and hand met, what happens? Because he doesn't say that hand is cut. Eka kiyanne naha ya. Ata kapuna kiyanne naha. Right? He very practically, very beautifully avoided that. Right? The worst part is avoided. That is also technique. Right? Worst part is avoided. The worst part in this particular accident, it is avoided. Right? So make them background again, industrial revolution, afterwards urbanization and capitalization in a society, right? You have to make money anyhow. So children or anybody who's employed, right? And what you want is money. Less pay, more work, right? Rather inhuman, right? Neither refuse the meeting, but the hand. That's all he says, right? There was a reaction. The boy's first outcry was...
Is this the climax, sir?
Exactly.
Can we take this as a climax?
This is the climax, right? If I did not tell you, you have to understand. Yes, that is definitely the climax, right? And there is an right? Then in that climax, there's a very interesting technique used. The boy first outcry was a rueful laugh. Underline, rueful laugh, right? Even the boy did not know. Blade taking right? When an accident happens, because they are so confused that they did not know what happened, right? Somebody told me that accident petrol tankiya arina එක තියෙනවා ඉස්සරහ petrol tank ඒ කූර ඇවිල්ලා කකුල හිල් කරගෙන ගියා, right? එයා ඒක දන්නේ නැහැ එච්චර, right? ඊපස්සේ කකුල ගන්න ගමන it is touch ප්‍රසෙක් ගලවලා අරන් තියෙනවා දැන්. Just telling you, right? So due to this shock, he doesn't know what happened. Pain එකක් තියෙනවා, but that is not later only you get the pain, right? Because we are so shocked, right? So same thing happens in this accident, particular accident, right? The boy did not know what happened. First outcry was a rueful laugh, right? Rueful means painful. Are there painful laughs, right? What is the technique there? We call this technique oxymoron, right? Oxymoron. Oxymoron is now refer to my box. Oxymoron means, what is oxymoron? Can anyone tell me?
It gives two opposite meanings, like?
Then it's a paradox, Maisha.
Paradox. Okay, sorry.
What is oxymoron?
Maybe the same sound of the
yeah,
like his.
No, the two contradictory words put together, right?
With opposite meanings?
Yeah, two opposite meanings, two words only. Paradox is a statement. Ironic statement is paradox, right? When the two words are put like this, rueful laugh. Rueful means painful. If it is painful, how?
So like unkindly kind?
Exactly. Now it's something like it's something like open secret. Right?
Yeah.
Open
okay,
secret.
yeah.
If it is
two
open, it cannot
meanings.
be a secret.
That's what I meant.
Right?
Yes, sir.
If it is open, it cannot be secret. If it is secret, it cannot be open. Now there are things that we use original copy. Right? That is oxymoron. Very good example of oxymoron. If it is original, it cannot be copied. Right? If it is a copy, it cannot be original. Right? The Shakespeare uses this hot ice. If it is hot, it cannot be ice. Right? Cruel kindness. Right? Shakespeare uses cruel kindness. If it is cruel, it cannot be kindness. Right? Rueful laugh is also something like that.
Rueful laugh means, is it irony?
Oxymoron. Right? Two contradictory words put together, right? Rueful means painful. Right? Actually, what happens? Boy, දන්නේ නැහැ පුතා මොකද්ද අතර උනේ කියලා. එයා නිකන් අර මෙහෙම අර his hand was cut and the nerves are hanging. With the remaining hand, he was just turning the other way around and just making a noise like, huh, huh, huh. He did not know whether to cry or laugh. The sound came like, huh, huh, huh. Right? So, did you get Ishani? It's very difficult to say. Right? Ishani? it's very difficult to say whether it's crying or laughing. Right? That is why it is called rueful laugh. As he sunk towards the holding up the hand was, the blood was pouring, right? Blood was pouring, right? Then hand is already cut, right? Okay. Now what happens? There now here Niroshan? What happens, Niroshan? Right? So he's the one who just make a right? He's the one just engage this log to the soul. When that girl says supper, he just turned, right? He just turned. Then his concentration was gone. When he turns, his hand goes to the soul. His hand goes to the soul, right? So this mechanic nature, right? You have to comment on that one. The source doesn't have hearts. They don't feel. They don't know whether this is timber or human flesh, right? Human being might have been stopped, right? But machine doesn't know anything, right? So this shows after the Industrial Revolution, what happens to people, right? People are working like machines and people themselves are machines, right? The impact of Industrial Revolution. You can say, even suggest this may be an impact of, right? You can't say directly it is impact of, because reader response means the way we feel. Api background එක refer කරලා background එකේ information ගන්න නෑ. අපිට හැංගෙන දේ මේක වෙන්නේ නැති කියලා අපි කියනවා. Right? හැබැයි out shows impermanence. You can't say it. Out is taken from Macbeth. ඒක කිව්ව හැටිය ඒක new historicism. Ishani, did you get my point? You have to be careful. This is your own perception. This is your own creativity. Right? Then mum make analyze kala thiyena mage creativity එක පාවිච්චි කරලා, right? මම මේක article එකකුත් yeah.
The poem Out, can we say in reader response theory, can we highlight the Industrial Revolution?
Yeah, this is now once you analyze the whole poem, you could say that this may be a situation created after Industrial Revolution. Right? This may be a situation. You can't say this is Industrial Revolution. Maisha, are you sure? What did you get the point what I said?
Yes,
sir.
Right? Okay. Because your interpretation, you say, you don't say facts. Right? But when you identify a technique, you can call it as a fact. This is personification. Right? That you can call. When you are talking about background issues, maybe.
So, sir, the features of the revolution should not be explained.
Yeah. Don't talk about revolutions and other things, the Industrial Revolution and what happened, and that background we don't take.
Right.
Right. You can say that this may be a situation created after Industrial Revolution. That's only. Right. Don't explain Industrial Revolution or anything. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Right. We'll right. Rueful laugh and sung then as he sung towards holding up the hand, right? The boy first out the half in appeal underlined, but half as to keep, right? That was the expression written on his face. To keep what? The hand, right? The life from spilling underlined, right? That's a very powerful phrase there. Life from spilling. I told you blood is pouring. What is fallen is his life. Right? Right? Actually, blood is life. Right? It is now he had a right. He want to save life from spilling. Right? He want to stop life from spilling. Right? He wants to
Sir,
keep.
Can we take this as his whole life is dependent on his hand, right?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, he's working. I'm sorry for the cry.
He's a laborer. Right?
Yeah,
he's a day's
so
laborer.
without his hand, he won't be able to earn his living, right? So can we
Exactly.
take this as that as well?
Yeah,
Right.
you could go further and say he may be the breadwinner of the family. Otherwise, he should have been in school by this time, right? Maybe he's thinking of not only him, maybe others. It comes, it comes downwards. He's making an appeal. Right? Appeal says that, right? Not only him, his family members also may be in trouble because of this, right? Because if he doesn't work, others also will be hungry. Like you can suggest that, right? We can't say directly, right? Don't let him, right? That's a doing man's work, child that has the life. Since he was old, now sorry, half in appeal and life from spirit. Then the boy is so old, and some dots are there that we call ellipsis, right? Ellipsis means something, right? Though this is rather ironic, though he's old, he did not see all. He did not know even his hand is cut, right? But the boy is so old in the sense that what's going to happen, the tragedy he's going to face without his hand. Even if his hand is he thinks that hand is still there, right? He still feels that hand can be just, it could be normal one day, right? Okay, he's so old. Since he was old enough to know, big boy doing man's work. That's a very important phrase in the poem. A big boy doing man's work. You can easily guess the issue. What is the issue? Big boy doing man's work.
Child
exploitation. Child exploitation, labor exploitation, because he's big by the body. That a very right? Kolla dano mature big boy doing man's work. Though a child at heart, right? Though a child at heart, in his heart he's a child. In his body he's a man, but he's a boy. He's a boy whose heart is in heart he's a child. By body he's a man. He has a body of a well-grown man, but he has a child's heart, right? Child's heart, right? Okay. Half in appeal as from life from spirit. So old, since he was old enough to know big boy doing man's work, though child at has, he's so old spoiled. That is repeated, right? Okay. Life from spirit. He's so old spoiled. Don't let him cut my hand off. Underline. That is the appeal, right? Don't let him cut my hand off. Why is that? Right? Okay. So that is ellipsis I told you, right? So this is don't let him cut my hand off, right? Because he's trapped in the system, right? Because if he loses his hand, he will be jobless. And the doctor, when he comes, he knew that the doctor will be coming. Don't let him, sister.